Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. Today, we've accumulated a few more great stories, so I suggest we start with a classic Karen in the store. Entitled old woman grabs autistic kid. This story is kind of different in the way that I, employee, witnessed an autistic young man, maybe 14 years old, get caught up in some crazy lady IDWHL situation. Let me set the scene for you. I work as a door greeter, watching out for lost customers and folks with returns, working in lawn and garden. I see this autistic young man. I guess he's autistic. He seemed predominantly focused on his action and kind of had the actions of an autistic individual. This young man was sorting and moving potted flowers around and putting them in a very specific order, matching colors, size of pots, and height of the flowers themselves. Doing an amazing job, I might add. He's bothering no one, and most folks are just noticing him doing a bang-up job. But this one old crone of a woman sees him working, stands behind this young man, arms folded, tapping her foot. At first I thought maybe it was her son or someone she was shopping with, but the next thing she did proved that I was mistaken. She clears her throat in that dreaded fashion we all know. "Excuse me, you need to help me." The young man pays her no mind, continuing with his task. She does not like this. She clears her voice and replies louder, "You are not listening to me. You are going to help me now." Before I can walk over and ask her what she needs, she reaches out and grabs this young man by the right arm just above the elbow. I guess the sudden action of this and the young man's condition caused him to spin around and jerk his arm away from the lady, and the sudden movement startled the old woman so much she stepped backwards, lost her balance, and sat down on her butt. It was like in slow motion watching her go from standing to sitting on the ground. By the time I reached the young man to see if he was okay, his mother had shown up and was asking what had happened. Before I could say anything, the woman who'd caused this was up and berating the young man, saying he attacked her and she'll have him fired and arrested. Meanwhile, the young man was almost crying, and his mother was shocked. I told the mom to take her son and calm him down. He did nothing wrong. Just make sure he's okay. Crazy old woman didn't like that. Didn't like that I took his side. She began to lie and tell me she was the victim and didn't do anything, that the employee, young man, attacked her. I told her, not so kindly, she was a liar and I had witnessed the whole incident. The young man you forcibly grabbed does not work here. You assaulted him. By now, a crowd has gathered, and the crazy woman has noticed that no one is giving her looks that they believe her side of the story. She just puts her head down and walks quickly out of the store. When I turned to check on the young man and his mother, she was smiling at me and thanking me for my help. She shops here regularly, and the young man likes to arrange the flowers. It's calming to him. I expressed my regrets about the whole incident. The young man walks over to me and pats my shoulder once and goes back to the flowers. The mom informed me that it was the equivalent of a high five from him. And that was it. They were gone. If this story doesn't qualify for this sub, mods, please feel free to delete. Just wanted to share. You don't work here, sir. This is the reverse of this sub's typical scenario, but I thought it might be close enough to post. Names have been changed because the internet is where mean people live. I'll be Jane Smith in this story. So I'm getting ready for work this morning when I hear my dog barking downstairs. She's really losing her mind, so I pop down, peek out the window to see what's going on. To my surprise, I see a man on my front porch. I open the door and see that it's a contractor I'd hired to work on my house about a year ago. We'll call him Bob the Builder. "Morning," he says cheerfully. "Hi," I respond, wondering what on earth he's doing here. "I'm Bob the Builder." "Yeah, I remember you. How have you been?" "Good. How about you?" There's kind of an awkward pause as I wait for him to explain his presence. He doesn't seem to think an explanation is required, so I ask, "So what's up?" "I'm here to take a look inside your house." "What?" I'm starting to get a little concerned. I'm home alone. While Bob's a nice enough guy, there's no reason I can think of why he'd want to come inside my house, and I'm not about to invite him in. "You wanted me to take a look at something inside your house." "No, I didn't." "Sure you did. I told you yesterday I'd come by." Grasping at straws, I asked, "Did my husband contact you, John?" "Nope, it was you." He's still so cheery and confident that I briefly begin to question whether I had some kind of profound and concerning memory lapse. But I push that thought aside and begin to try to get across that I had not contacted him and do not need or want him to come inside my house. Patiently, he explains, "We talked yesterday. You asked me to come over here. You said you were Jane Barrington." "Smith," I interject. He doesn't hear me, or simply is so convinced he knows what he's talking about, he doesn't process it. "Jane Barrington, you said your roof was leaking." I cut him off there. "I'm Jane Smith. I'm not Jane Barrington." "Oh my God." He finally understood what was going on. If I had it on video, the expression on his face would be perfect for the "watch people slowly die inside" subreddit. He begins apologizing, clearly profoundly embarrassed. I'm just relieved that everything makes sense now, and I tell him no problem. We both laugh it off. He then realizes that he has no idea where the real Jane Barrington lives. When he heard the name Jane, he assumed that he was talking to me. He didn't think he needed an address because he remembers my house well. He has no idea where he's supposed to be. And now he's late to meet a brand new client. He starts scrolling through stuff on his phone, trying to figure out how to reach her. Clearly, his morning has now gotten off to a rough start. I wished him luck and sent him on his way. This is one of the most original stories here, and it doesn't even have a Karen. I love it. And our next story. Wearing navy blue to Walmart is asking for it. So this happened a couple of days ago, and it's still bugging me. I work as an analytical lab tech from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and usually stop at Walmart on my way home, so it's probably 7:30 a.m. I wear navy blue everything. The Walmart in my town has their employees wear navy blue polos with khakis and a vest with the Walmart symbol on it. I'm wearing a solid navy t-shirt, solid navy Dickies, with flip-flops on at the time. No makeup, and I'm looking as exhausted as can be. Now, usually when older people ask me for help, I think it's due to the fact that I'm the only person they see and they honestly need help. I don't mind. Short, kind old lady can't reach the top shelf? I'll jump up there and grab what she needs. Well, this day I am in a load of pain, and I just want to get a few things. An older man asks me to help him locate a spice in the spice aisle, and I find two for him, one at a cheaper cost. I point them out and stay there to make sure he doesn't lose sight of them. He thanks me. Another woman is in the aisle and sees me help him. I'm clearly shopping at the moment and even answer a phone call where I loudly stated I was in Walmart. Let me call you back when I'm done shopping. Middle-aged woman sees me in the next aisle. I grab a case of water and, due to spinal issues, lose all feeling in my left arm and just barely get it in the cart. Middle-aged woman says, "Put one of them in my cart while you're at it." "Sorry, miss. I've got some back problems. They're really bothering me right now. I barely got this one in my own cart." "Call your manager on the phone. Keep looking at it. I saw you help that man back there, so you will help me." "Yes," he asked nicely. "And I don't work here, lady." "You clearly are a liar. Now, are you going to call for assistance, or do I need to take your name down?" "Okay, my name is blank, and my manager's at work right now, where he never has to deal with the general public. Piss off." She then screams, "You don't speak to customers that way, you rude, worthless waste of my money. I pay your wages with everything I buy in this store. Now I want to speak to your manager." I've had enough. I begin to walk away without responding to her. She then grabs my name badge from my actual job that's hooked to my belt loop on a retractable cord. "Well, you were honest about your name. I'll make sure you get what's coming to you." You crazy, psychotic B-word. Take your effing hands off of me. I then walk away fast. My adrenaline is at 1,000%, and I'm trying not to make myself look like a fool. Around the corner is a Coca-Cola vendor, and he probably heard all of it. "Get your manager. I want her fired." The Coke guy says, "Lady, she doesn't work here, and you need to control yourself. I'll help you lift whatever you want, but leave her alone. Let her walk away. That's why I drink Pepsi." She turns around, puts her own effing water in her own effing cart without any issue. I told two employees that I was familiar with about her, and they promised they'd find the manager in security and have them speak with her about controlling her behavior towards other customers, or they'd ask her to leave. What the hell is wrong with people? It was too early and too late for me at the same time for all that nonsense. Guy gets bonus for looking lazy. So, my uncle used to own a grocery store. His employees liked working for him for the most part. He paid well, was pretty accommodating with stuff, but he was kinda old school. The one thing that he couldn't stand was laziness, which is key to this story. As his store grew, so did the number of employees. He tried keeping up with knowing everybody's name, but obviously the larger the staff got, probably not going to know everyone. So my uncle was walking through the shipping dock one day, and he saw this kid just sitting on a crate reading a magazine. My uncle asked the kid if he was on his coffee break, and he says, nope, he's just waiting for something to do. My uncle assumed it was one of his workers. It's actually a delivery guy who never offered up that bit of info. My uncle does stay calm, but inside he's losing his temper, thinking this kid is being disrespectful and lazy. So he asked the kid what he makes an hour. The kid tells him. He pulls out his checkbook, writes a check the equivalent of 2 weeks' wages, hands it to the kid and says, you can take that and you don't have to come back in anymore. The kid looked confused and my uncle walked off. A week later, he sees the kid again, says, hey, what are you doing back here? Kid says, dropping off the weekly produce shipment? My uncle looks confused and says, wait, you never worked here? No. The kid worked for a delivery service that delivered produce from local farmers, but nobody on the dock was required to wear a uniform, so this kid blended in. The kid asked my uncle if he wanted his check back, and my uncle said, nope, it was my mistake, keep it. 2 weeks later, he had employee badges for all non-uniformed employees. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.